I appreciate you coming out today. My name is Jim Rogers. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Dawood, and I'll be our MC for this morning. We certainly appreciate you all being here and appreciate the slight delay. We were waiting for some folks to get here because of the traffic and the accidents that have been in the area. I'd like to get things started by introducing our president, Bony Dawood, who founded this company 21 years ago. He'll be our first speaker this morning. Bony?
Good morning. Thank you, Jim. Before I start, I'd like to thank you for coming out today and spending the day with us, but I'd like to recognize some of the legislators and public officials that have taken time out of the day to join us today. First, I'd like to start, we're in beautiful Hampton Township, Pennsylvania, which has been a home for our business for about 14, 15 years. Commissioner Beanstalk and Commissioner Thomas are with us today. I believe Keith Metz, Township Manager, might be here. I'd also like to recognize Senator Teplitz and from Senator Pat Toomey's office, Jeff Ditzler. Is Jeff here? Representative DeLozer. Thank you. Representative Bloom is here. Steve's with us, and I believe he has to leave. I knew he had to leave, but he was here earlier. From Senator Vance's office, Joe, is it Marcicano? Thank you. Thank you, Joe. From Scott Perry's office, Bob Riley. Thank you. And Representative Keller's with us. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you again. You're probably wondering why an engineering company in Central PA is having an event with this vehicle, but just to give you a little bit of background, natural gas and the energy industry is an industry that's been very important to the company. 3 years ago, our energy work was zero. We really didn't do any energy work. We were very curious about opportunities because we saw a declining business. The industry, the economy was getting weaker, but fortunately for us, we were able to investigate and start building some relationships in the energy industry. And last year, I think our volume was about more than half our work last year was specifically to the energy industry, specifically the natural gas industry. So for a company, we feel very strong about what energy has meant for us and what natural gas has meant for us. We've been able to grow the business. We've expanded. We've probably had 2 or 3 of the strongest years we've had the last couple of years. We have probably hired and brought people off the unemployment lines in a lot of areas, close to 80 people over the last 3 years. So we feel very good about that and very strong about the industry. As we learn more about the industry, as a Pennsylvania-based firm, we don't know much about natural gas and energy. I mean, we traditionally work on hospital projects, medical buildings, office buildings, and energy is not something it's typical to us, but we have to learn. What does fracking mean? What does a pig run mean? What does midstream mean? These are all new terminology. But 3 years later, we have a midstream manager, we have a health and safety officer, we have offices in locations. We're learning as we go through, but it's a very exciting industry to us. And the most exciting part about it is, when you really read and learn about the industry, the energy independence this provides is something that's very exciting. And I tell a lot of our employees that if you can't get excited about this, it's really, it's something you should feel good about. It's going to change. It's changing world politics. It's changing the industry. It's energy independence. So it is something as a company we feel very strongly about. We have a lot of our managers attend some of the chamber functions to talk about it. But for us also, this was a step that we felt was very important for the company. As we talked to some of our producers and some of the clients, one of the clients actually, asked us, what's our plans for natural gas in terms of incorporating that into our plans for growth in the future. And fortunately for us, as part of our growth, we've opened up offices at different locations. We felt we had to make a commitment, and we reached out to Enterprise Fleet Management, who is a close partner of ours in supplying a lot of our vehicles. We have probably 40+ vehicles within the company at different locations. We do a lot of field operations, but Enterprise, worked very closely with us and was able to provide us a company manufactured natural gas vehicle that we have before you and that we want to unveil today. But it was a commitment that we felt was important for us as a company. It's a very efficient fuel. There's cost savings in terms of the natural gas usage. It's a cleaner running fuel. There's a lot of positive amenities as part of owning and using natural gas facilities. So as a organization, we just received it about a week ago. We do have representatives here from Enterprise Fleet Management that will be happy to answer any questions you have about the vehicle itself. I can tell you the basics. I don't know the specific details in terms of the mechanics of it that you'd have to defer to Enterprise, but it is it's a Hemi. So as we go through and we look at this, we are planning to get more vehicles as we recycle out the older vehicles. And a concern we have is facilities. This vehicle will be housed up in Sayre, Pennsylvania. And up in Sayre, Pennsylvania, where a lot of the activity is, a lot of the retail business owners are starting to incorporate natural gas facilities. So I think within reasonable distance from our office in Sayre, we have 3 facilities that we can. It's a dual fuel, so it's natural gas and traditional gas vehicle. So they are facilities that will be very easily used. It won't be an inconvenience for us to use up in Sayre. Ideally, we'd love to have more facilities across the state. So as we go between our 7 offices, we have other vehicles that we can freely move from place to place. But we know it takes time. But it's a first step. We understand the long haulers. With all the long haulers and transportation across the country, like some of the large pilot oils, and we'll have those facilities more convenient. Possibly a turnpike. I understand one of the facilities, the turnpike. There's facilities. So it's coming. It's starting. So as an organization, we're taking the first steps, and we wanted to invite you here to really unveil the vehicle. You can see it's a very large vehicle, and really share some of our plans going forward. We feel it's a very positive, and I want to thank you again for coming here today. And I'd like to turn this to other people here that will tell you more about natural gas and the impact to the industry. But for our company, this was a small step that we felt, but it was a very important step that a firm in southeast Pennsylvania, which is away from really the natural gas growth areas, is really trying to be a part of it. And we'd love to have more companies involved with us to move in that direction. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite Jim Welty from the Marcellus Shale Coalition to the podium to talk a little bit about the industry's perspective.
Good morning. What a beautiful day we have this morning. Great to see this beautiful truck I see over here. My name is Jim Welty, and I'm Vice President of Government Affairs for the Marcellus Shale Coalition. We are a trade industry group representing over 300 members in Pennsylvania that comprised of producers of natural gas, midstream companies, and all the supporting companies that go into supporting natural gas development in Pennsylvania. And one of those supporting companies is Dawood, and I'm happy to be here to be speaking with you today, supporting this one of our fine members. And I must say that, Dawood has recently been recognized as one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the region. And a lot of that, and a big part of that, is because of all the development that's going on with shale gas in Pennsylvania. And you like to say that a rising tide lifts all boats, and this is a prime example of that very point. We are in the midst of a game changer, both economically and environmentally in Pennsylvania. It seems that every day a new study comes out to tell us what shale development means to this country. Yesterday was no different. IHS Global Insights came out with a study yesterday that says 3.3 million jobs will be created by the year 2020 in this country. They also said that nearly $500 billion in our gross domestic product in this country will be contributed by the natural gas development that's occurring. But these are just studies. So what's happening in Pennsylvania are actual facts. Economically in Pennsylvania, we produce $2.2 trillion cubic feet of natural gas in 2012. We produce 10% of the natural gas in this country as of today, out of this state. As I said, this is a game changer. Nearly 250,000 jobs over the past 5 years have been created by this industry. Those are high-paying jobs. Within the core industry, it's about $89,000 a year salary. Within ancillary industries, $65,000 a year. So these are high-paying jobs that are being created right here in Pennsylvania. Pay $1.8 billion in taxes, the companies that are doing the development in Pennsylvania. Over $750 to $1 billion in road construction contributed to Pennsylvania. Tens of millions in permitting fees, hundreds of millions in royalties to landowners who are leasing their properties for this development. And over $400 million in impact fees that were created by Act 13, going to local communities throughout the Commonwealth. This is the economic impact. So there's the environmental impact as well, which is all positive. From land to water to air, all benefit from natural gas development. Far less acreage is used to fuel 1,000 households from natural gas than coal, biomass, nuclear, wind, or solar. Similarly, on water, for one time to drill a well, it takes 5 million gallons of water. New York City consumes that in 4 minutes. A 1,000 megawatt coal-fired plant consumes that in 12 hours. So you can see that the benefits are there for natural gas from an environmental standpoint. So that leads us to air. If they say that Congressional Research Service says that if U.S. doubled the utilization of combined cycle natural gas capacity, we could displace more than 600 million metric tons of CO2 in this country. For electricity generation, natural gas emits about half the CO2s per megawatt hour as coal-fired plants. And then natural gas vehicles. 25% less CO2 at a cost, and costs far less to operate than a traditional gas vehicle. I've always said that Pennsylvania was founded in, this country was founded in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. It was saved in Gettysburg. It was built in Pittsburgh and the coal fields of this state. We are now seeing a rebirth, and that rebirth is happening right here in Pennsylvania. And it's companies like Dawood that are helping lead that charge. As I said, we're in the midst of an energy revolution, and today is yet another example why we are moving in this direction and why companies like Dawood are so important to this country and to what's happening with the natural gas. Thank you.
Very pleased to have a representative from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania here. Dan Lapato is the Deputy Director of the Department of Environmental Protection in charge of Special Affairs. Dan?
Well, I appreciate everybody coming out today. Two things I realized listening to the other speakers. One, I'm glad I'm here because I'm in the shade. It gets warm out there. And two, the traffic behind you, everybody thinks of road noise. I think that is market potential out there. That's potential vehicles for natural gas. When I walked up here, I realized what a beautiful day it was outside. So I can't believe this weather. I think, you know, and I said to Jim and these guys, I like to contribute, you know, companies like Dawood switching to natural gas vehicles has helped cleaning the air, making these beautiful days for us to come out and celebrate a Pennsylvania company beginning to use a Pennsylvania product to put more Pennsylvanians to work. And I think that's really a key issue here. And I think this started, Jim had mentioned, under Act 13 with the administration and the General Assembly really showing leadership and demonstrating that natural gas is a great resource, and if it's done environmentally sound, like it's done under Act 13, that there's resources out there to promote this. And I laugh because everybody talks about the impact fees and fantastic work the impact fees are doing. But within Act 13, there is $20 million set aside to help develop a natural gas vehicle program. And that's kind of where I want to talk a little bit about today. Is really where we're going with alternative fuels in Pennsylvania and natural gas specifically. Truth be told, natural gas is a fantastic, some people call alternative fuels. I like to think of it as just a general fuel anymore for vehicles. I mean, we see here today is fantastic. This